Welcome back to Factories for Dummies. I'm Chisel. We finally got our nuclear power plant online, and we're going to make 225,000 megawatts of power. We are using 36 power plants, fully overclocked at 250%. Today, we're going to make uranium waste, non-fissile uranium, plutonium pellets, encased plutonium cells, and plutonium fuel rods. Let's get started. One uranium fuel rod in a nuclear power plant will create 50 uranium waste. At 250% clock speed, it will create 25 per minute and 50 in 2 minutes. And you also need 600 water. Make sure to bring your water up high and then drop it into the nuclear power plant, like so. So the very first item we're going to make is 100 non-fissile uranium. We need 75 uranium waste per minute, 50 silica, 30 nitric acid, and 30 sulfuric acid. And also remember, we have a byproduct of 30 water per minute. In order to split up the uranium waste properly, you're going to want to send 75 uranium waste to the blender here, and then 25 to the particle accelerator here. You're going to want to put a conveyor splitter, and a conveyor merger. So when the uranium waste comes through here, 3 will go here, and then 1 will go over here. The first 2 items are pretty easy. We're going to grab the uranium waste, send it directly to the blender. Then I'm going to come right over here. We're going to make some sulfuric acid. We're going to need 30 water and 30 sulfur to make 30 sulfuric acid per minute. And then we're going to send that straight over to the blender. Now we need 30 nitric acid per minute. So we're going to need 120 nitrogen gas, 30 water, and 10 iron plate. So for the iron plates, we're going to use the alternate pure iron ingot recipe as seen here. Then we're going to construct those iron ingots into 10 iron plates per blender, all down this row here. Next, we need some nitrogen gas. We need 120 per minute. So we got some pipes with 600 nitrogen gas a piece coming down the pipe here. We got them split into all of these like so. The next, all we need is 30 water per minute. Pretty simple. Grab your water from the pump, send it on over. And now we have our 30 nitric acid per minute. Once we got a nitric acid, we're going to send them directly over here to our second blender, like so. The final item we need is 50 silica. And for the final item, for the non-fissile uranium, we're going to need 50 silica per minute. So we're just going to use raw quartz, throw them inside of a constructor to make the 50 silica per minute, and then just send that on to the blender. Once you do that, you have your 100 non-fissile uranium per minute. And remember, just to get rid of the water, what I have going here, just have all the water coming down this line here, sending them into 3 refineries. And I just have them making alternate wet concrete, since that uses a whole bunch of water. That should keep your byproduct from backing up. Now that you have your non-fissile uranium, you're going to send that to the particle accelerator to make 30 plutonium pellets per minute. You're going to send that with 25 uranium waste. Pretty straightforward. And now you got 30 plutonium pellet per minute. Now that you got your plutonium pellet, you're going to send them to 2 assemblers, and they're going to make 7.5 encased plutonium cells per minute for a total of 15 We're also going to need 30 concrete per minute. So we have some wet concrete being made right down there. You mix those two, and you got your 15 encased plutonium cells per minute. Now that we have our encased plutonium cell, send all those to a manufacturer to make the plutonium fuel rod. And for the plutonium fuel rod, we're going to need 15 encased plutonium cell per minute, 9 steel beam per minute, 3 electromagnetic control rod per minute, and 5 heat sink per minute to make 0.5 plutonium fuel rod per minute. Let's get that going. So we already have the 15 encased plutonium cells being made. Now let's make the 9 steel beam per minute. All right, for the steel beams, we're gonna need to make 144 alumina solution using the sloppy alumina recipe. We're gonna need about 120 bauxite and 120 water. Then we're gonna send the solution along with some coal to another refinery to make 216 aluminum scrap. Don't forget about your water as the byproduct. We're going to take the scrap. We're going to send it to 2 smelters using the alternate pure aluminum ingot recipe. And then we're going to make steel beams using the alternate aluminum beam recipe. Then we're going to send that straight to the manufacturer, making the plutonium fuel rod. The next item we're going to make 15 heat sinks per minute. We're going to use the alternate heat exchanger recipe. So we're going to need 45 aluminum casing and 45 rubber. Once again, we're going to start way back here in the refinery. We're going to make 270 sloppy alumina. Going to use about 225 bauxite and 225 water. We're going to send the alumina along with some more coal to another refinery to make 405 aluminum scrap. And always don't forget about your water. Send the water away. Do something with it. All right, now we got our aluminum scrap. We're going to send them to smelters. We're going to use the alternate pure aluminum ingot recipe again to make 67.5 aluminum ingot, or whatever your recipe that you need, whatever amount that you need. Then we're going to make the aluminum casings from the aluminum ingots. Then we're going to send them to the assemblers. Now let's go make the rubber. So for my factory, I needed 45 rubber per assembler. So we're just going to use the basic rubber recipe. It's going to need 67.5 crude oil. Once you make the 45 rubber, don't forget about that byproduct of heavy oil residue. I'm going to send the rubber down to the assembler with the aluminum casing, and now we have our 15 heat sink per minute. Then send that to the manufacturer making the plutonium fuel rods. As for the heavy oil residue, as a byproduct from the rubber, we're going to send them to 2 refineries making petroleum coke. We're going to send the petroleum coke to a particle accelerator. We're going to use the alternate petroleum diamond recipe. We're going to change those petroleum coke into diamonds. Then you can store some. And then once these bins get full, they're just going to go right into the awesome sink. So if you remember from my last video, I made too many electromagnetic control rods. I only use half for the uranium fuel rods, but now I'm going to use the other half for the plutonium fuel rods. So here are all the electromagnetic control rods going right into the manufacturer to make the 0.5 plutonium fuel rods per minute. So for right now, I have them all being sent down here, up here, down here again, up here, right into an awesome sink, because I do not have it set up yet to get rid of the plutonium waste. that would be created if I burnt them in a power plant. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Gotta go. Peace.